Hey everyone, party day, the last day, celebration. We evolve. We evolve after examining our life, right? So what Einstein said, unexamined life is not worthy of living. Hmm. Wow, definitely not entertainment, right? An unexamined life is not worthy of living. Um, what a statement. No wonder that nobody likes Stoics. Who would like that, right? That's funny. Yeah, examining your life is it's a hard choice. That's where the hard choice is.
I think it allows for a richer
Well,
life.
I told you yesterday about Viktor Frankl and one of stages of dependency, and I found the passage that he wrote very interesting. So I will read it to you. Anxiety is usually called the disease of our time. We speak of the age of anxiety, but previous centuries probably had much more reason for anxiety than ours. It is also doubtful whether the relative incidence of anxiety and neurosis has increased. The collective neurosis, insofar as this term has validity, is characterized by four symptoms, which I shall briefly describe. Four symptoms. First, there is the plainless day-to-day attitude toward life. Contemporary man is used to living from one day to the next. He learned to do so in the last World War. And since then, his attitude has not been modified. People lived in this way because they were waiting for the end of the war. Meanwhile, further planning made no sense. Today, the average man says, why should I act? Why should I plan? Sooner or later, the atomic bomb, will come and wipe out everything. And thus, he slides into the attitude of, it's in the, I think it's in the French, Après de la bombe atomique. So it's about the bomb. This anticipation of atomic warfare is as dangerous as any other anticipatory anxiety, since, like all fear, it tends to make its fears come true. The second symptom is the fatalistic attitude toward life. And that's where I mostly discuss this trauma and anxiety that people have and inability to come out of it. This again is a product of the last World War. Man was pushed, he let himself drift. The day-to-day man considers planned action unnecessary. The fatalist considers it impossible. He feels himself to be the helpless result of outer circumstances or inner conditions. The third symptom is collective thinking. man would like to submerge himself in the masses. Actually, he is only drowned in the masses. He abandons himself as a free and responsible being. He abandons himself as a free and responsible being. The fourth symptom is fanaticism, why the collective ignores his own personality. The fanatic ignores that of the other man, the man who thinks differently. Only his own opinion is valid. In reality, his opinions are those of the group, and he does not really have them. His opinions have him. So we have the situation, day-to-day attitude, right? And that creates this impossibility to plan. No, unnecessary to plan, because you cannot build better life. Then you have fatalist that says that it is not really that it is not necessary, it's impossible. And then there is collective thinking. So the verse 2 are more personal, but collective thinking is the society. This is socialism. This is the giving your freedom and responsibility to the masses. That's really socialism here. And the fourth, fanatics. That's kings, Caesars, czars, Stalin, Mao, and others who ruled like tyrants. Here we are. Fanatics, fatalists, collective thinking, day-to-day life. All right, I thought about sharing with you this because it overlaps so much with what we do and what we've done for the whole week. Anyone would like to share something about that?
I like the thought of having a fanaticist not have opinions, but have the opinions have them. I'm sorry, fatalist. They don't.
Master and fatalist, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is why I explore so much that, because I saw this fatalism in people. Not only that we think that planning is not necessary, but we really believe it's impossible. I'm too old. That's a really fatalist talking strongly. I'm too old. It is too late.
I think Karen was talking about the fourth one.
Oh, I don't hear. I don't hear you.
You can't hear me?
I had said for the fourth one that it was an interesting viewpoint to look at it as somebody having opinions. They don't really have opinions. The opinions have them. And I think that you called that the fanaticist.
Maybe it's me. I need to find out what's going on. Can you hear something? All right.
Now?
Yeah, now.
So I was talking about the fanaticist, and it was an interesting idea that you presented where the fanaticist doesn't really have opinions. The opinions have them.
Right.
And I hadn't looked at it that way before.
Yeah, Yeah, it's a fanatic. His opinion is for him everything or for her, right? And that becomes that. So opinion is really ingrained. It's like an angry person, right? The anger has him. It's just not really you become angry because somebody said did something wrong, right? You also have to become angry and anger in order to express it. So you anger owns you. Okay. And examine life. It's not worth of living. Wow. That's why we have hard choices, I guess, right? That's why we think. That's why we ponder. That's why we think over and over and over. I hear my dog is really doing something outside. What's going on? What's going on here? Well, there was a ball, of course. So, okay, so who would like to share something about my strategy is about no choice, no freedom.
The only strategy that I was able to come up with was making a daily effort to write down the choices that I make, both the good ones and the bad ones, and making the connection between how those choices impact my level of freedom. So.
And how are you going to do that? That's the whole strategy. So you have to come out with something when you have a plan, and how you help the plan to happen.
Well, I'm already doing a 5-minute journal every morning and every evening. So I would just tack it onto that and do the writing either right before or right after I do that.
Right. So your strategy is to write your journal, right? And when do you write the journal? Always the same time?
Yeah, I'll do. It's a standardized journal, and you do about 3 minutes in the morning and 2 in the evening. And so I'll do the 3 as soon as I make my coffee. I sit down and do my 3 minutes, and then the 2 at the end of the day are right before I do my reading before I go to sleep. So it's pretty consistent.
I see. Anybody else?
Like,
Jersey.
go ahead. Go ahead, Simon.
Oh, thanks very much. My strategy is basically there's things that I've written down on a card that I need to do every day if I want to get the results in life that I want. So I've written here, I've got 7 things. I've got each day to get the results that I want. I meditate, I do the happy body, and then there's some other things that are part of my life, not necessarily part of the happy body, but I think of being a master, doing my eye exercises, doing sound therapy, practicing my craft because I'm a trombone player, creating because I'm also a writer, and checking the financial markets. And if I do those 7 things every day, then I feel that I'm heading towards what I want. And on the other column, there's also a couple of things that each day I aim to avoid. And that is either drinking by myself, or watching television by myself, or being on social media.
Well, that's pretty good. Drinking by yourself is not a good thing, right? Eating by yourself is not a good thing. Alone is not a good thing, right? And watching TV, pretty powerful things that we should do with friends, right? Thank you. Well, I will tell you my one of the strategies with doing the happy birthday. I usually do the happy birthday around 10 p.m. So Angela does at 6 a.m. and I do it 10 p.m. But sometimes when we go to a dinner and dinner is long and we'll come at 11, let's say, and I'm very tired, right? So I experience sometimes that came out like 11 p.m. or midnight and still had to do the happy birthday because that's the way, but it's not really a good thing to do. So then I my strategy was that if I go for a dinner, then I do the happy birthday earlier during that day. That is the adaptation to the situation. So you always have to think somehow, build a strategy around some things that you do and they change. And when they change, how would you adapt to that? So you don't end up not doing something what is essential, what should happen on a daily basis. So we talked about yesterday a lot about the American dream, right? And then it's very interesting because this American dream is really connected to be independent. And you can see that in the socialistic countries, you have to give up your freedom and responsibility. Some of it you have to give up. And in America, you give up of this the least. And that is why America, that's why the dream. You really feel here free and left alone and be responsible. And that is almost nowhere. When you think about the whole world, it's almost nowhere. Nowhere else. Interesting, huh? Well, that's what Americans built. Our fathers and fathers, they built this country that way. They thought about that. What is the most essential, most important to a human being? It's really independence. Be free.
Freedom.
And be responsible. It's true. And be free as much as is possible. Take away freedom the least, what is really extremely necessary, and let people live, let people be free. And that is why Americans somehow adopted this way of living that is not engaging and not really telling other people how to live life. So I experienced this interestingly at the beginning. I was in about maybe 2 months here, 3 months, and I work in Power Source, and I saw this man was doing this exercise wrongly. So I went and I said, talking, yeah? And then he looked at me and said, did I ask you about that? I said, got it. I learned what America is right away there. And I never, ever went to anybody and told anybody how to exercise better before I was asked. That was my lesson. 32 years ago. Boom, America. I didn't ask you, come talk to me. Beautiful. I got it, and I like it right away from the beginning. Freedom. Don't come to me. Wayne Dyer was talking about this in a different way. He said, when your neighbor has weeds, don't go there and pull the weeds out. It's not your garden. It's not your place. Somebody's garden. So that's why we have America. That is American dream. To have a choice, to be free, to be responsible. That's it. That's what it is. And that's why it feels so good to live here. It feels good to live here. You don't want to go anywhere. Why? People don't want to go from America anywhere else. People come here. Americans rarely go somewhere to live somewhere. Everybody wants to come here. That is why. People are not coming to be rich here. They're coming for that feeling, to be free, to be independent. And the Happy Body is really giving people that thing, independence. That system is completely transparent, 100%. Somebody takes it and builds an awesome way of living on his own, in his own place, independently from anybody else. And sometimes, we get the emails that people bought a book somewhere, who knows where, right? And do the system for 2-3 years. And they send us this incredible email how their life changed. Yeah, independence, right? It's beautiful. So what time? 12:30. We have a celebration. Okay, now it's time to celebrate. T, we celebrate that we evolved, right? We went through a lot of thinking, a lot of darkness. So we faced a lot. So let's talk about this a little bit. You talk to each other, I guess.
I'd just like to really thank everyone. This week, everyone's been so giving with their experience and what's been going on, and I found that to be fantastic. I haven't been game to say anything for most of the week, and I'm sorry if I haven't contributed, but it's just been awesome. Forgive the word, but it's just been fantastic to have all of you talking about the highs and the lows and the difficulties, and also your honesty about it all, which I think has just been, as Jersey would say, the transparency. Thank you so much.
For me, one of the greatest gifts has been the poem that you shared with us, Jersey, about this Japanese lady, Michiko Nagomi, if the name's correct. But I really thought about the poem a lot and read it almost daily and showed it to friends, and it opened up a new medium for me, because I haven't, like, no poem has touched me until I read that one, until you read that one in the session here. And I think I'm going to spend more time consuming that medium poem, because that poem showed me that it can be very deep and very beautiful. So thank you for that.
tea is good. Do you have any tea? Do you have vodka there, or what are you drinking? The celebration, right?
Bourbon.
Where is vodka? Right?
So just to share an event, this is Margaret in Park City, but last night I'm in bed, I'm reading, I'm happy, and I'm like, oh, I would love a snack. It's 9 o'clock at night. I get up, I start walking down the hall, and I said, I have a choice. I can have the snack or not the snack. What are you going to do? And I turned around and went back to bed. I mean, it was like, I don't know how to describe it other than it was like, I had a choice.
Powerful, right?
Yeah, very powerful.
With decision depends on the choice now. Yeah, you have a choice. You have it or not. That's very powerful. Wow. You know, you're very chatty usually when I'm not here. I will go a little bit away so you can have your own time.
No, stay and we'll start
Wait.
talking.
Wait,
What?
you know what? I sent you an email last night,
Right?
and I can't explain what happened to me. I looked at your video on Facebook, and the best word is overwhelmed. I'm not owning it right now, but I had it last night. I had exercised, I'd done what I'd supposed to, I made a soup, and I was thinking of everything that we're learning and how you are giving to us on a daily basis, your knowledge of life and living. And I felt so grateful and so overwhelmed that it was hard to contain. And I know my little words didn't express it to you, but I hope you get it, that you're giving us a gift of an amazing gift of life and lessons, and just eyeball to eyeball, I thank you deeply.
Oh, thank you
Bravo.
for sharing. Thank you. Right. Thank you for telling me that, because it's you know, it's important to hear these voices. It's something that you know, a teacher is also a human being. I always tell people, and needs the feedback, needs something. When a teacher gives a lot, so you have to really appreciate, and sometimes, you know, tell the teacher that to share. Coaches too, they like, you know, when they see progress, but also they like when somebody says something. So it's important. It's just it adds it helps to the teacher to keep going in a certain direction, and you know, feel that that everything is working the right way. Yeah.
I second that, and thank you for sharing that. And actually, I have a poem to share if I can.
Oh yeah, good.
You're so inspiring, Jersey. Thank you so much for inspiring us, and for I feel like I have met someone special. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Is it your poem? Is it your poem?
Yes, yes. When I was doing my homework, I wrote it over the last few days.
All
So it's called I Feel. I feel beauty. I feel at peace. I feel overwhelmed. I feel at ease. With all the unrest coursing through my veins, I feel connected with the pain. We are one and the same, and I am my joy too. I am free to choose who I am, what I think, what I do, where I go, who I become. I am the sum of all my choices. They brought me here to this crossroad. I will once again choose a path to traverse and make it mine.
Wow, that's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. You're
Beautiful.
very inspiring, and I think this poem was an expression and also a lesson for me.
I'm going to read you a poem then. I guess we'll get on the poetry. Let me find this poem.
That was wonderful, Sanjan.
Thank you so much. Thank you for giving me this space. Everyone, this has been so inspiring, this whole journey. And I know it's ongoing, but thank you, everyone.
So this poem comes from the book, The Shy Hand of a Jew. So this is the Jewish poet, was born in Lvov and in Ukraine, and he came to Warsaw in 1942, I think, and they believe that he lost his life in the Jewish Warsaw uprisal. And he was one of the most prolific poets of this time. And we translated the whole book, that book. So it's our translation. And there is a poem that when you read this poem, just right away, I thought about that poem. And let me find it. So. Okay, found it. It is written in 1935. And the title is, I Won't Be Small Anymore. I won't be small anymore. My brothers left, my sisters left. They left me behind because I am too small. But I won't stay. I have healthy legs. I will find the road to my homeland. I will run after you on a railroad track through forests and mountains, valleys and ditches. I wasn't born to be disobedient or blind. I will carry bricks and build houses. I won't bother with heat or desert wind. I will be an architect of the new Palestine. I will be a worker and tan in the sun because I dream about the new Jerusalem. I will come to help you. I won't be small anymore, and I will live in the house that I will build. Here we are, right? Isn't it beautiful? It is that we need to take always the stand, that we need to see that we have a choice, and no matter how small we are, how weak we are not victims. We are not slaves. We still have choices. We have those choices. So it is, crucial in life not to behave like we don't have, because then we act like slaves. Somebody says, I didn't have a choice. Wow. Really? Yeah. because it would be so unusual not to have a choice. You still choose. There were partisans during the World War II in Warsaw, and sometimes they were chased up the building, and then they had a choice, right? The choice was to be captured, tortured, and die, and probably release some information or jump and die. And we need to respect that choice. It wasn't a choice. It was not the situation. They didn't have a choice. They made the choice. They made that choice. And by that, we respect, that act.
I like the I guess metaphor of living in the house that you build. 'Cause we all do that.
Right. And that's, of course, is a metaphor, right? That's not only the house that you built, but also that is your character that you built. That's well who you are, you're building too. It's your mind is working, is living in this house. And you are living in a house that's a house too. That's the independence, that's the freedom, that's the decision, right? That's the choice and pursuit of that choice.
Can I share a story poem?
Of course. Let's hear it.
It's something that happened the other day, so it's not all that profound. Wednesday, working in the garden. Got the shakes, low blood sugar, I suppose. Walked up the stairs to the house and to the cupboard for a delicious cookie made with Rice Krispies. Flashed on our sessions. No choice, no freedom. Turned to the fridge, ate 2 apples instead, and felt better.
That's good. Quite an interesting choice, right? 2 apples versus cookie, right? There is no contest when you think about health, right?
That's right.
So when you think about the choice, when you really, where your emotions become the low to enter the thinking process, then you have this capability to compare, to think about that, and make a decision because of the choice. But if it's really fast, say emotion is something that you only feel, but you don't have any words for it. So it's under the radar, right? Yeah, kind of. You see the cookie, and you really don't see the apples, right? You only see the cookie, and it's very strong cookie, right? But there is no apples, or there is no even thinking process. Should I have it, or shouldn't have it? What is my choice here? This or that, right? Contradictions. There was a really famous poet, Ezra Pound, who really said something very profound to all the poets and writers. Contradict yourself, contradict yourself, contradict yourself. What it meant, not to be linear. Think about the other side. Then your writing can be interesting because you explore the choices. If you write without the choice, that your writing is linear, not interesting at all. But you bring choices, your writing can be interesting. That's the contradiction. So bring this contradiction always into your life, and you will see your choices. That's a good one. Apples to apples and well, it takes time, right, to arrive to this, decisions and time, and you see it like we evolve, right? It takes time. That is why today we stop for a week, so you have time. You have to have time for integrating that thing. Whatever we've done. The week was intense. A week before was intense too, and the week that it's coming will be intense as well. And that's how it is. And if they are not intense, and if they are not challenged, then we are not examining our life, like Einstein said, right? An examined life is not worth of living.
It's interesting that as my friends are reaching out to connect and set up Zooms or FaceTime calls, they're all aware that I have my daily Jersey call.
Right.
And they all schedule around it. They're like, oh, Jersey's from 1 to 3. Right? I'm in Mountain Time. And there's never a discussion. It's just, that's what you're doing from this period of time.
That's pretty good, right? Yeah, and I know I somehow see that is the only way actually to do what we want to do, to make it happen, to deliver. Without that, we just wouldn't be able to deliver. An examined life. That's actually Socrates. Sorry, not Einstein. Socrates, 2,500 years ago. He came out with that saying. Can you imagine 2,500 years ago, people were thinking about examining life and getting better. It's just amazing, right?
Jerzy, I wanted to add a show to your repertoire that helps you train, because you've been in my head all week. And one of my favorite musicals is Wicked. And in Wicked, Fiyero is the rich prince who comes to the school, and he's actually a really sad character, but the image that he tries to put forth is that happy, carefree, superficial person. And he sings Dancing Through Life about, why live, he's promoting the unexamined life, but in reality, he's really so sad. And as soon as he starts to really examine his life, that's when he turns around and becomes the Scarecrow. And it's a fabulous, if you look at it as a musical, it's fabulous in every way. But as I listen to you talk, it really hits a lot of your points.
Awesome, thank you. I will. I think that I saw this, but I will look at it. I will watch it again. Wicked, right? It's a movie, right?
It's a musical on Broadway, and I don't know if it's become a movie yet or not.
Oh, is it really right now, current? Oh, not now, because
not right now, but next time it comes through, I can send you an email.
Yeah, when it's open, please, because I would like, my daughter would probably love it.
Yeah.
So
it's sort of a girlfriend movie. My husband calls it a chick flick, but I think it's a really wonderful musical.
Yeah, you opened something else for me to look for. So, when you make something richer from a different perspective, that could be very interesting. So you can watch something from that perspective, and it becomes, interesting, because it's something for you, something to examine, right, for you. So that makes the whole, like when you watch again, Groundhog Day, when we were, examining that movie, you will watch from a completely different perspective, right? It's like if you watch that movie as a comedy, you completely can miss the point of what is the movie about, right? What is the metaphor of that movie? But if you examine that movie, then it becomes so rich and so powerful and intelligent and with deep thoughts and feelings and goodness. It's amazing.
Jersey, you started out the week so powerful for me. There was something about the pace of your voice when we started Monday, the reading of the poems. And I had just behind my camera that day a picture of the word kind. I'll show it to you. And behind the word kind is this poem that I'll read. It's a small tribute to the word kind. And we started talking a little bit about virtues, but I just want to pay honor to the specific pace of your voice, which was so powerful to this week. And the word that came to mind and the feeling that you gave me was kind. And that was the word that I had been staring at for the last few weeks to remind myself like how important it is to be kind in my house, to be kind in the words that I use. Getting back to Wednesday's session when you talked about words are everything. And even the way you said words are everything about 3 times and the delivery, I just want you to know how powerful your voice fluctuation is in creating this emotion. And when I flip over the word kind on this card, Penzies Spice is a company here that friends often give each other spices. And I was once given this kind box. And I want to give you the tribute of the same gift I received when I read this for the first time. It's called the Kind Heart. Kindness brings such great comfort to our lives. Even the littlest acts of kindness have a way of spiraling into so much more. Kindness is at the heart of cooking and at the heart of making life great. In the little acts of kindness is the magic to transform our lives into something wonderful. Thank you, Jersey, for being that kind heart and for sharing your kind heart with the world around you. You have reason to be proud. You make a real difference. Thank you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. It's such a kind way to show the microprogression, right? Because we have to be so kind to create microprogression, actually. That's this cooking and progressing, and it's just really beautiful. Yeah, that's why we when we find this kindness to our life, to the way we think and the way our body is, and then you will find a way to do the right choice and to know that you have a choice. You will find the way that there are 2 apples in the refrigerator. That's how you need to find the kindness, right? You will find the kindness to feel the body and its pain, and then to put the oil on the skin, or to heal it, or just to the happy body with the kindness, with the goodness. You will feel all of it if it's something that is the open feeling, and it connected to what happens outside you, and you're just like with that only, like like there is nothing else. Like you have to be so much in the present moment to sense what the kindness is. And if you are in the present moment, that you can feel this kindness in every second of your life. You can walk, and it's you know, when you are really 100% in the present moment, you will feel the nature, you will feel the, you know, appreciation of everything what is around you, and it will make you kind. The trees will make you kind, the people that they are still there, and all of it is it will start having this overwhelming appreciation that people are around, and the nature is there, and it's just in that moment can feel so good. You know, many times I go to the ocean, then you know our landscape changes, but when I go to the ocean, I have this experience that for millions of years people were standing there, and they have the same feeling of this ocean because it's the same ocean. The mountains may be changed and the rivers, but the ocean is the same. And it creates the same feeling that in all of us. That's why we feel so good when we are at the ocean, the water that is there, right? You can feel so much kindness, so much goodness that it's there. You know, I remember watching the movie Adastar, when they travel far away on a planet, and then the universe is so they're kind of beautiful, right? The colors, but also it's so empty and so nothing, and so no people there, right? And it's just nothing. It's kind of beautiful, but it's only dust and colors and stars and nothing. And without people, we cannot survive there. So the images that, you know, they had, the movies to survive on a faraway planet, were the images of the forest and water, ocean, and all the images from the earth. The universe is beautiful, but our planet is amazing. This is the magic that happened in the universe. We are the magic here. That circumstances that created the planet and us even, you know, be aware of what universe is. Wow, what a magical that thing is. And when you were, you know, aware of it, how you cannot be thankful for that and overwhelmed by this beauty of the planet. It's amazing thing what happened in the universe when it comes to our planet. It's so mysterious and it's so amazing. And it's just like, you know, to be here is what a gift. What a gift to be here. And why are we here, right? So it's a constant thought process that we have, and examining that life and you know, constant evolvement, the life on this planet. In a way, we are so small in the universe and so fragile in that universe, and can be destroyed so easily. And at the same time, somehow, for millions of years, we fly in space, and we are on this planet, and we are evolving our brain throughout the millions of years. And today, we are aware of what the universe is. What a gift. You know, 500 years ago, people were fighting for the idea Copernicus was fighting for the idea that the Earth is round, right? I didn't know any idea what the universe is. Today, wow, we can imagine the black holes and the, billions and trillions of stars, and it's just, oh, where are we, right? It's just, we are in this humongous thing on this very, very little planet that created us. What a beautiful thing. How anything can be more beautiful than actually planet Earth happens in the universe. This is the ultimate beauty that happened. And now we're really getting that we have a choice how to live that life here. When we have a choice how to care for this planet, right? We are getting slowly that attitude, that messages, that we care, that is important how we live life here. And I will go that direction, definitely will go that direction. People want goodness, and majority of people always, they are good people. Majority of people are good people. They have goodness. 99%, probably 9 are really good people with good thoughts and good living. It's a very tiny percent of us is not really good, because simply it happened something in their life that the kindness was not there. The kindness was not there, and they just grew up like that. And it's a sad story with some of us, but that's why there are others. Yeah, we constantly have to evolve, examine the life, and make things better. And it's our kind of a responsibility why we are here. We evolve, right? If we evolve, then it's going somewhere. Maybe we don't know today, but through our life, we evolve just a tiny micro. And then another 100 years, another 100 years. And then some time can be very important for people when they are on this planet. Maybe our children, for them or their children, it can be extremely important to actually that we evolve. And we develop the means to, how to save the planet maybe. But without that involvement, we wouldn't be able to do it probably. So, kindness. Thank you. Kindness is it's a beautiful feeling. I was receiving donation from my friend, and he saw my ad about the Into the Cave Free, and he said, well, I don't have really time and I cannot come, but I can donate. I said, well, I'm trying to reach the stranger in the world and help the stranger to live a better life. And that would be appreciated. And then he sent really a big donation. And I said, well, thank you for experiencing this kindness, right? Because by doing that, he gave himself this kindness. We have to really know that by to experience kindness is not that, you're really receiving things, but you're really giving things. That's where the kindness is. That's when, you're in this situation, and then the kindness can happen to you. When people appear. All right, anyone else? Good poem. Thank you. Anyone wants to say something before we close and have 1 week off? Now we can go and meditate with all of it for a whole week.
So we are not, you're not on next week?
I am, but into the cave.
Okay. Okay.
So it's a different, it's not really the same thing, but the part of the thing, right? Daily Jersey is happening. We'll see how long, but some people like it and I like it, so that's the most important. And if we like it and we evolve, hey, that's the whole thing. That's what matters, right? The most. We're having a good time and our good time is that good time as it is. Sometimes it's really hard. We're going through the hard choices, but but also it's a good time. It's a really good time. And poetry is such a, part of a really good time. This is like, it really can take us deep into the examining the life. Be together with Socrates, right? And, like fulfilling his words and be in that energy, what he was saying, that thing. When he said that thing and the first time, can you imagine why he said that? An examined life is not worth of living. Wow. How did it happen in his life? He said that sentence, right? Such a powerful sentence.
Homework?
Homework, yes, homework. Let me see.
I got this?
Yes, I got this. Yeah, reading the 6, right?
We read 6 last night.
Yeah.
Oh, no homework. No homework. Sometimes you have to like relax. But we'll go into this one because we need to close with this one, right? My experiences. So you have a 1 week of pondering and relaxing a little bit. We'll go into the cave. We go into now exercises so your mind can rest. And we'll begin on Monday, next Monday. Not this Monday, the following Monday. And we'll dive even deeper. And we'll dive with another saying. Failure needs forgiveness. Mm-hmm. It seems like so simple, right? Failure needs forgiveness. But it will take us a week of exploring that saying. And it is like the same way as no choice, no freedom. It will send us in many directions. It will send us into our own lives to explore the situations where we fail, and whether there is forgiveness or not, and whether it should be or not. Yeah. So it helps us to live better life. And at the same time, we have the happy body, right? And then the happy body creates this challenges, that they are physical challenges, and without really becoming kind of, thinking better and have better belief system, we cannot really become. The challenge of the skill of living, or the good life, of having a good life in life, is a challenge. To be a good person is a challenge, right? You cannot be a good person and complain and blame and be sarcastic and so on. You just can't. You are not, simply, if you choose to live that way of life. And these are the choices, right, that we make. Anyone wants to say something? Questions?
No, I just want to close in saying how grateful I am for these sessions and what a gift you've been, Jerzy, as has the entire class. So thank you all.
Thank you.
Jerzy, can I ask one small question? On in my strategy, I'm going to anchor the practical happy body routine to, I meditate every day at 8 a.m. So I will tag it to before that. But in terms of, I'm trying to get to the bottom of working out the food side of the happy body. Is the best place for me to be looking in the book? It's all in there. Everything I need is in that book. Because I noticed you're a vegetarian, but I don't think it's a vegetarian way of life. It's about choice, choosing for yourself, right? But I'm just trying to get my head around the decreasing fat, increasing muscle, the very practical kind of question.
Yeah, it is very complex. So when we get into the cave, and after into the cave, we'll get into what you're asking for. You're asking about the strategies, how to think, how to coach yourself, how to create plans, how to adapt yourself to the changes in life, and adapting yourself to aging, and adapting yourself to be a woman or the person or the man, right? Because we are a little bit different, and how we go through periods, and how we go through, the whole thing, menopause and so on. There are so many things. How we go through, how to gain muscle and how to lose the fat, and how we adjust to this, and how we increase the weight, and how we increase the flexibility, and what to choose, and how to go in almost every situation. So there are like hundreds of different situations that they are created with food and exercise that are for the exploration and examining, right? And that will be the whole week after the Into the Cave Free.
Okay, great.
So after the Into the Cave Free, we will have the week of strategies and adaptations, talk about microprogression, and how to deal with food, and what it means, weight loss or scale, and then time, and why we have 3 hours, and all of it, and how to work with it, how to adapt yourself, how to choose it, right? From the different now perspective, you will see that you have choices all everywhere. And then you can save yourself if you have a choice, right? If you think you have a choice. Because if you think you don't have a choice, that is a horrible state, right? Because you have, but you think you don't. And it's not a good thing. right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
Anybody
you.
else before we close? Everybody's coming through into the cave.
Yes.
Awesome. It's a very interesting week is going to happen, because the first sequence is the most difficult sequence, and there are a lot of subtle exercises there that when you learn the right way, they become so easy, right? So that how you learn those things that you flow through. I remember when I was in elementary school, and I was in the pool and I was swimming, and this teacher went into the pool and talked to me how to swim, right? And he said, just swim and reach for something more of that, and just relax and glide, float through the water. And after about 10 minutes of it, I got it, and the swimming became so pleasant and so relaxing. It was just amazing, and I still have it today. And maybe I was like 10, 11 years, and I exactly remember that time when he taught me that, and that way. So it is important to really get it that way, so that every exercise becomes this reaching for gliding, right? Or floating in the water. And you have this moment of when this stretch is happening, that is your moment of that pleasure. And you have to give it to yourself. And you find it. Once you find it, it becomes this, ultimate joy, and it's repeated throughout your life. That's the magic of it. That is just if he didn't jump there and didn't teach me, it could be that I would never have that experience. Can you imagine, like how many times I was in the pool and I would always miss it and never really experience that? That would be horrible, right? But here is that moment that I was taught the pleasure in the water, swimming.
Yes, but you were open to it.
Yeah, I was open to that too. And we both were there, right? And he was able to deliver this, just like, wow. Thank you. Thank you for that. So when you come into the cave free, you will be able to get this moment there and reach for this moment always, to the flow. I have to focus more on that moment, that to juxtapose that moment when you swim and you float effortlessly, completely effortlessly. So, awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much for
Thank you, Jerzy.
For being here. For me, it's we are definitely together in this, and we evolve together. It's not about only you, but me too. I evolve as well, and I thank you for you to be there, so you help me with that.
Back at you.
Thank you, Jersey.
Thank you, Jersey. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, Jersey.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye.
Jersey. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Hate to go.
Right. Yeah, get some apples.
Yeah.
Right.
Jerzy, can you send me the film about the bars, how to make the bars?
I didn't.
No.
Okay. I will.
If that's possible, that's great. Thank you.
Sure.
See you tomorrow. Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thanks. I thought that I sent it to you. Right.
Are you still there? Is there
Yeah.
any, how do we get copies of what we've already learned? I want to see the exercises again.
The sessions?
Yeah, I want to see the exercise parts again.
Oh,
I'm doing,
I can send them to you.
okay. Thank you.
Right. You mean you number 1 or number 2 sequence or both?
Both.
All right. Okay.
I'm doing them and reading, but I want to see you do them.
All right. Okay. I will.
Thank you.
Right.
Bye-bye.
Bye.